looks like. So if it is a happy face, we get a positive x squared at the front of our quadratic. If it is a sad face, like what we've got here, we have got a negative value of x squared at the front of our graph. Now, any quadratic follows the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So this is the general form of any quadratic. This value here on the end, the c, will tell me the y-intercept. So this value here is what we need to calculate. And we need to show that this value of c is going to be 15 up here. Now we need to know about the roots of a quadratic. Now the roots are where you cross the x-axis. So these are called the solutions, where you cross your x-axis. And if I've got an equation where I've got x minus d and x plus e equals 0, okay, the roots of this equation are when x minus d equals 0, so that means x is equal to d, or x plus e equals 0, so x is equal to negative e. So in my case here, d is equivalent to the 5, so you're going to have to think about what you're going to put in here. And then the x is equal to negative e, that's equivalent to this negative 3. So these are the two roots that you're going to be substituting in. Now think about substituting these roots in. Think about the fact that the negative x squared, because the shape is a sad face, it's upside down. And remember, when you expand, the value c on the end is your y-intercept. And that's what you've got to show is 15. So press pause, have a go at working out the answer, and then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. Well done, guys. Hopefully you've managed to show that the y-intercept is 15. So to start with, we're going to look at the roots. So we know that the root is at negative 3 and 5. So if you look here, if the root was at 5, so d is equal to 5, so x is equal to 5, that means x minus d, which is why I've got an x minus 5 because of this 5 here. I've also got another root of negative 3. So you can see here, here's my second root at negative 3. So x is equal to negative 3. That means x plus 3 is equal to 0. So these are my two roots, come from x plus 3, x minus 5 for 1 mark. So looking at my roots in the x-axis. Now we also know it is a negative x squared because of the shape of the curve. It is a sad face, it is upside down, it is sad. So on top of these two root values, I need to put a negative at the front here. And this is your second mark. So far I've got 2 marks for identifying where the roots will be as a quadratic and the negative at the front because it is a sad face. So to get the final mark, we have to show that the coordinate on the end, when you expand the brackets, will be plus 15. Now you can expand all the terms in the bracket by multiplying everything together and then simplifying it and then multiplying everything by negative 1, and then that will give you, that should show that c is negative 15 on the end. But we could save ourselves some time and just think about which values will multiply to give the constant on the end. So the ones which will give the constant on the end are from multiplying the 3 by the negative 5. So 3 times by negative 5 is negative 15. But there's this negative 1 at the front, so we're expanding the last term. I've got a negative 1 times by a 3 times by a negative 5, which is going to give me 15, which is why the y-intercept could be 15. So he could be correct for 1 mark. So make sure you know exactly where the marks were awarded. Give yourself a tick and show where the marks were awarded. Use a different colour pen to mark your answers. Well done, guys. Tricky question, that is. The mark scheme on this question shows there are 3 marks. M2 means 2 method marks. M1 means 1 method mark. See the appendix, so right at the bottom of the exam paper and the mark scheme is something called the appendix. So if you go right to the end of your mark scheme and scroll to the end, you will see this section here, which is called your appendix. And this is just extra notation and extra help to see whether you have got the full marks awarded correctly. So you can see in here what happens if you put a negative 15 instead of a plus 15, what marks will be allowed for you in the exam. So make sure you have a quick look through all this so you can see where the marks were awarded and you know how they're awarded from the mark scheme. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe so we can all get great at maths.